Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to What's Up vlog number 128. And we're here again, workout time. This is workout 3 for week 1. I've had a little sneaky peek, but I'll run through what it is in a moment with you. I've also received next week's 3 workouts from Tim. I think he took offence to some of my comments in my last video. Next week looks like pure torture, so thank you for that, Tim, much appreciated. No, it's all good fun, painful fun. That's what we like. That's what most Swifters can relate to, so should be good, and hopefully I'll start to see some results from it soon. Right, I'm going to run you through, switch over to the full screen recording, run you through what the workout is. I've then got to, I'm going to put my saddle up just another couple of millimeters before we get started, and I'm also going to have a look at my ERG mode settings. It's too late to do anything on the app now because I've synced up and paired everything to Zwift, and to be honest I can't be bothered to unpair it all, pair it up to the Elite app and then go back again. So I will just have a look at the power smoothing settings within Zwift. I've double checked that obviously ERG mode is on, but from what I've read in the forums it actually looks like it's possibly the way Elite deals with ERG mode, which will explain the slightly sort of erratic power graph that I've got. It's not necessarily a fault, it's not necessarily something that I'm doing wrong. It's I think it's actually Elite's way of dealing with ERG mode. So we'll see. Right, anyway, I'm going to shut up and I'll flick over to full screen and run you through this workout. Right, so here we go. Saddle raised about 2 millimeters. My leg extension, there's still, I mean, my understanding is that when the pedal's fully down, you should have, oh sorry, bear with me, someone at the door. Right, I'm back, sorry about that. It's one of my neighbours who just found a dog and thought it was ours, so hopefully she'll find the rightful owner. Right, anyway, week 1, workout 3. This is the endurance section. Obviously we did technique, sprints, and now this third part is for endurance. So as in my previous video, I will speed up my voice for comical effect and so that this doesn't take too long, and I will read through the instructions. So we're 2 down, that means it's endurance time. You might suffer a little bit, but it will be all other it. I think that's probably a autocorrect, and it should say that'll be worth it. Remember, we are constantly adding things into this training plan, so apply what you have banked about cadence and perceived effort and go for it. Keep your upper body still and drive through the legs on this one. I find mentally isolating the pain below the waist the most effective way of doing it. I can talk you through this. These aren't long intervals, but they are enough for you to not like them. Sounds good. We will build this up progressively. Right, so looking at this, I'm going to be doing 6-minute blocks of 178 watts. Actually, is it all 6 minutes? Right, 4 6-minute blocks of 178 watts and then an 8-minute block of 189 watts with some 145 watt rest periods in between. Then we drop down and it looks like we're going to be climbing up from over a 10-minute period up to basically FTP, or actually 211, so nearly FTP. Yeah, interesting. Right, one thing left to do. Let me click on workout. Let's go through to it. Look at all the big hitters that are on Zwift at the moment. Simon Yates, Guy van Hoek, Jelle van der Ver, Marcus Burkhardt, Tom van Asbroek, Remy Mertz. Big hitters. Right, here we go. I might change my route. I'm going to go to the volcano flat, I think. Just change the scenery for this one. Here we go. But as soon as I do this, I'm going to quickly check power smoothing. And I've got trainer difficulty 50%. Okay, power display 3-second average. I'm going to put that on. I actually thought I already had that on, but this will be interesting now to see if my power graph actually smooths off, if my power delivery smooths off in ERG mode. Okay, so very important. Fan on, and of course pain cam on. There we go. All right, let's get spinning. Incidentally, I have done my let's get my wheel straight. I've done my 2-for-1 group ride this morning already, so my legs actually are already a little bit numb. I think it's probably the best description. So forgive me if I'm horrendous on this particular one. Thank you, Rand, for the ride on straight away. Much appreciated. Got a bit more WKG Go Juice ready for this. I can get it open. There we go. Hey, Jay Pacala. I'm not going to try and pronounce your Christian name again. It's just JP. I'm sure I had something important to tell you all, but it's escaped me for the moment. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. I was slightly curious as to how this would work over a period of time, being that obviously the workouts are dependent on what your FTP is at that point. So obviously Zwift knows what my FTP is set at. Tim will have set parameters based on my current FTP. So if my FTP is changing during the course of the workouts, how does it know? The short story is it doesn't, and Tim confirmed what I feared. Week 3, one of the workouts does include an FTP test, so yeah, that's something to look forward to in week 3. Well, I've got to get through week 2 first. So I've got the 3-second power smoothing on through Zwift. I've not set anything, like I say, through the Elite mobile app, which will probably be the next thing I'll try. But this is still not especially smooth. It seems to be fluctuating as much as it did on previous rides. We'll only really be able to tell once the power kicks up and the changes are more frequent. Oh, another quick bit of news for you while I'm doing my warm-up. I know we've only just had deliveries, and hopefully everybody now has received their WKG kits. But I'm going to put the feelers out for another order. There won't be any changes in design, you'll be pleased to hear. But it seems that I'd underestimated the popularity of it. Without wanting to sound like I'm blowing my own trumpet too much, it's gone down really well, and had quite a lot of requests to open up another order. So provided we can reach a minimum, I mean, Endura don't specifically have, well, they certainly don't have strict minimums, but it can affect the price, and reasonably dramatically depending on volume. So I will put the feelers out. Thank you, Kenneth, for the ride on, just as I'm waffling. I'll put the feelers out, see how much interest we've got now, with a view to putting an order in sometime in February, so that everybody that wants one is able to get one before the main outdoor season starts, certainly in the UK and the rest of Europe. So keep an eye on the forum. I will try and update you on the videos as well, but most of that will be done through the Facebook forum, Facebook group. And keep sending your photos through as well. Everybody that has received the kit, send your pictures through. I love seeing them in all different corners of the world. It's fantastic. Again, massive ego trip thing for me, but seeing photos of riders in the WKG kit in Brazil, Germany, Holland. We got New Jersey, Florida, Australia, obviously. So some pretty far-flung places, and it's really nice to see. So please do keep sending your pictures in. I'm looking to put another collage together, similar to the one that I did with everybody in their retro, the WKG Love Velo kits. So I want to do one with this new kit as well. Anyway, I think I'm talking too much already. Shut up. Alright, here we go. About to start the first block of whatever this is. Got a feeling it's 180 watts, okay. Got to hold 180 for 6 minutes. At the moment that seems perfectly doable and fine, and rather generous of Tim, but I know how these things work. I know after the 278th time of doing 180 watts for 6 minutes, my legs will be falling off and I'll be crying. Hey, Thomas Horan, Mr. ODZ, thank you very much for the ride on, buddy. And Nick Pousson, likewise, coming out of South Africa. Great to see you. Thank you for the ride on. Hope to see both of you guys in the weekend's race, up and around the Watopia Big Loop at full race pace, hopefully. Nice big group ride in front of me, just plough my way through. I'm keeping an eye on my power. I mean, I don't think that's any smoother than it was.
Thank you, Scott, for the ride on. Yeah, I don't think that's any smoother than it was, even with the power smoothing. Look, drops 160, 180, 190. There you go, hit 200. I'm trying to keep a nice steady pedalling action, but power numbers are all over the place. So sadly, I think it's a characteristic of the Drivo. And as I mentioned before, I've not really managed to find too many faults, or any faults really. So it was a bit of a learning curve coming from a wheel-on trainer, but it didn't take long before I really fell in love with it, the way it works. But here we go. ERG mode seems to be its Achilles heel, from what I can see. I will reserve judgment on that until I've played around with the actual Elite app, see if there's things that can be done in there. Alright, coming up to the end of this first block, so that's 6 minutes, or will be 6 minutes done at 180 watts, and it looks like we then do 2 minutes of 145 just to gather my breath. It doesn't seem overly strenuous, 180 watts for 6 minutes, but I am sweating. But it's particularly warm in here again today. This horrible little room that I have to keep using. Can't wait to build my proper outdoor pain cave. It seems to have been halted quite severely by the fact that it's rained continuously for about 6 months. Thank you, Darren Hunter, for the ride on. Also just realised I'm probably not helping ERG mode. So I instinctively changed gear then, knowing that I had to drop my wattage. And obviously I'm better off just letting the trainer do it for me. Did I just thank Darren for the ride on? I think I did. If I didn't, cheers Darren. I think I did. Anyway. Hiya Zoe, Team Type 1. Great to see you. Thank you very much for the ride on. I've seen on Strava, I'm not stalking you by the way, but I've seen you've been putting plenty of miles in recently, so great stuff. I know you joined the 2-for-1 ride. I think the Kenneth and Stuart Woodsell and about 100 odd others on the 2-for-1 ride last night, so thanks for that. And here we go. It's going to be back up to 180. There we go, another 6 minutes. I'm just going to try and ignore that instruction and just keep pedaling and hope that this ERG mode sorts itself out, which it seems to have done relatively nicely. Team Type 1, by the way, are about to, as far as I know, about to set up a regular race, which would be great fun. I'm hoping it doesn't clash too much with any of our race schedule, because I'd love to jump in on some of those if I can. Looks like I'm gate crashing someone else's party at the moment. Sorry guys. I also apologise if any of you are getting more of a flash of man cleavage from my pain cam here than you'd like. It's I can't do this jersey up any more than this because I am boiling hot. I know it might put you off your food, so don't watch this during tea time. And I'll tell you what's really funny, I've got obviously I did an FTP test when I first got the Drivo, and I did video it, and I think it's got a few hundred views, maybe, I don't know, maybe 500 views, something like that. I know, in actual fact, it wasn't a bad one. I think it's got about, let's say, 1,500 views. But I stumbled across another video of somebody who I think's got less subscribers than me, but did an FTP test, and it's got thousands of views. And it probably won't shock you to realise that this particular person was a female wearing basically underwear to do her FTP test. And I don't mean to be too cynical, but I can't imagine that's not a pretty big influencing factor in the number of views that her video got. So just a little pre-warning, if my viewing figures start to slide at any point, you may see me doing another FTP wearing basically a sports bra and not a particularly well fitted one. So I'm warning you, and please don't leave comments now on this video asking for a link to that other video. I'll be incredibly upset. Okay, 30 seconds to the end of this particular block of 180 watts. Hey, Mr. Oliver Higby. Oliver, was it you that commented you're going to start taking notice of these training sessions if I suddenly start beating you in the races? That is the plan, is to improve my race performance and start actually fighting for glory in the league that I bloody created, with a view of actually giving myself my own opportunities for glory. And it just so happens that everybody that joined is faster than me, which was never the plan. So I've taken drastic measures, and I have my very generous coach to lead me to category C race victory and beyond. That's the idea. Okay, here we go. 8 seconds, 180 watts, block number 3. Do you know what, something I think this has already taught me is to hold a higher average cadence. A very bad habit that I have, where if I get tired, completely against normal convention, so I find myself grinding a heavy gear. And I know I can avoid that if even before I'm tired, I concentrate on a slightly higher cadence. So I've not really been having to concentrate to be sort of 95 and above. It's just actually feels quite natural. So fingers crossed, muscle memory starting to kick in, and this just becomes the norm and not something I have to consciously do. Hey, thank you, David. David Potts, WKG. Thank you for the ride on. Always good to see you. Incidentally, when I do my FTP test, I will record it, but I will not speak at all. I have a suspicion that the amount of talking I do is possibly good for about 10-15 watts. I'm hoping that's the case. Anyway, if I just shut up, I'm faster and more powerful than I currently think I am. Alright, 20 seconds to the end of this block. Again, seem reasonably smooth, but every so often the power numbers jump about all over the place. Definitely feeling the effects of each one as they build. So this 145 watt spin will actually feel like a pretty nice break right now. Thank you also to everyone reminding me to change my towel. I got messages in the forum last night and this morning, so I knew I could count on you guys, so thank you for that. That was quite disgusting. Block 3, 180 watts, here we come. Managed to get my heart rate down reasonably well in that little session, in that little call off. Thank you, Dan, for the ride on. Mr. Consistent with the ride ons, loving it. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, once I'm in the 170s, I usually struggle, without completely stopping, I struggle to get it back out of the 170s. I managed to get it down to 161 beats per minute during that 145 watt session. Alright, last minute of the 180 blocks, and then a nice 2-minute 145 rest again. Definitely feeling it today. The combined exertion for the previous 2 workouts, and obviously the 2-for-1 group ride this morning, where I was my own worst enemy, and I knew I would be. We attack the sprint zones. We ride at 2 watts per kilogram for an hour, but we attack the sprint zones. I managed to refrain from doing that for the entire ride, but we also have a final 1-minute sprint race, and I couldn't help myself. I actually almost won. It was the best I've done for a while. I managed to maintain about 450 watts or something for a minute, or maybe about 400 watts for a minute, to almost win the 1-minute sprint race. But the point of that story wasn't to tell you that I almost won something. It was that I knew I had this workout, but I just couldn't help myself from having a little burst. and I'm sure I'm going to regret that more the longer this workout goes on. Okay, so that's block 1 completed, well, in 30 seconds. Now I've got to hold 10 watts more for 2 minutes more. So here we go, 190 watts, 8-minute burst. And then the one I'm actually really scared about is this 10-minute ramp up afterwards. Okay, 5 seconds, under the arch. And here we go, 190 watts for 8 minutes. I'm at the halfway point of this block. My heart rate's mid 170s. Struggling to control my breathing to bring it down. Managing to keep a pretty good cadence still. I'm still trying to concentrate, keep my upper body nice and steady and pedaling all the way through the stroke. You know, the scary thing is actually if my FTP does go up on week 3, obviously these are going to be even harder. I'll be pleased to have increased my FTP, but I might see if I can fudge the numbers somehow so that Tim doesn't know. I can just stick to these workouts. Okay, inside the last minute now, you'll see I've switched course just to try and distract me more than anything. About to go up the reverse KOM. 30 seconds, here we go. Keep it smooth. I don't know what this 10-minute ramp up starts at, but I'm hoping it's at about 50 watts. Although I could actually do with getting out of the saddle. My backside's hurting again. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 80 watts. Oh, love it. Oh, 100. 100 for 10 minutes. All right, okay, it obviously doesn't stay 100. 10 minutes. Sorry, I threw my wattage all over the place then because I had to just get out of the saddle just for a second. I wonder if having raised my saddle, I actually need to tilt it very slightly forwards. I think maybe I'm getting a little bit more pressure than I was. Certainly my legs, I think that's actually really helped. Feels like I'm not quite so constrained. I'm not doing anything like 100 watts. Erg mode is really struggling with this particular section. It hasn't switched off because it doesn't feel like I'm going up 5%. But it's not adjusting my power. I'm having to try and do that manually. Maybe I'll just put it in an easier gear. Obviously it's not been ideal for me anyway, doing all 3 of these back to back. I think ideally I'll be doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I needed to start this week, and obviously with a race on Saturday I'm going to need definitely the full rest day tomorrow. Luckily the race is on Saturday evening, so I've got all of Saturday as well to just literally not touch the bike. So following that, I think it will be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then the next league race is actually Sunday week, so that works out quite nicely. Oh, I managed to get my heart back down into the 150s, which is nice. Okay, erg mode, if indeed it is still in erg mode, really struggling in this section. It's 160 watts now, but I've just had to go fiddling around all the way through the gears to try and find a way to try and stabilise around that number. And even now I'm really struggling. This is definitely something I'm going to have to look into further. And I've got a feeling Shane Miller is probably the best person to ask, or obviously DC Rainmaker. I've watched Shane's review on the Elite Driver a few times. I can't specifically remember anything to do with erg mode, so I will go back and have another look and then just fire a question over to him if I can. I will also, as I mentioned earlier, check out the mobile app, see what settings I can play with in there. So we're up to 180 now. 200 watts this last couple of minutes. Hey, here's Stuart from Team Type 1 for the ride on. Apologies guys, I'm a bit out of breath, so if I don't read any more out, that's why. Trying to just hold this wattage for the last 50 seconds. There it is. 10 seconds to go. Oh, I get a horrible graphic. Oh, 220. Here we go. The last, I'm going to like 350. Hey. All right, 140. Oh. Okay, and that's one of Tim's warm downs. Active warm downs, I think he calls them, which is always fun. I'll just catch my breath and we'll try and summarise today's workout. Alright, so my heart rate is suitably recovered. Got 4 minutes left of this warm down, cool down. Now, let's just drop this down to 100 watts now. Right, that was week 1, workout 3. Right, comments on that workout. Actually, not as tough as I was expecting it to get. There was a point in the middle actually where I think I was feeling my worst, and then it kind of came back to me, which I was pleased about. I think there were a couple of cool down periods where I managed to recover better than I normally would, or certainly better than I expected to. So the ramp up session at the end, despite struggling to actually maintain a smooth power number, that actually wasn't as strenuous as I expected. So thanks for that, Tim. So we've learned that my cadence is definitely naturally higher, I'd say. Not right now, because I'm trying to cool down. I'm trying to actually slow my watts down. But I think I'm naturally holding a higher cadence, which is brilliant. That could very well be just through it being forced over the last few days by these workouts. Could be something as simple as having raised my saddle, allowing me to sort of stretch my legs a little more. But whatever the reason, I just feel naturally I'm spinning a lighter gear at higher RPMs, which can only be a good thing for, certainly for sort of distance riding. What else have we learned? We've learned that ERG mode on the Elite Drivo is a pile of beep. But as I mentioned earlier, I will allow small benefit of the doubt until I play around with the mobile app. But it's just a little bit distracting. I don't help myself because I think I find myself chasing the power. So if I'm dropping down on power, I tend to step up with the cadence a little bit, and then the slow or delayed reaction of the trainer means it overshoots and then comes back, and so I don't think I'm helping it. I could probably try and keep even steadier, but that's possibly me just trying to make excuses for the firmware, the hardware, whatever it is. But yeah, all in all, at the end of week 1, I do feel thoroughly satisfied, energized. Obviously not right now, I feel like I'm going to pass out, but I do feel the benefits of it. A lot of that will be psychological. I'm sure it's too early to have really made that much of a difference, but the idea of having done 3 structured workouts in 3 consecutive days does make me feel a little bit like I could take on the world right at the moment, and that is what I'm hoping will happen on Saturday's race. Okay, so I am going to wrap this one up now by once again saying a massive thank you to Mr. Tim Fulford for putting these workouts together for me. Absolutely brilliant, I've got to say. It's again, this is not a paid endorsement or anything like that. This is not a sales pitch. This is an average Zwifter finally doing something a little bit more structured and hoping to see some improvements from it. And I'm just lucky that Tim sort of volunteered this information for me, and I trust his guidance at the moment. So thank you, buddy. He's also, as I mentioned, sent through 3 workouts for next week, which does look like a pretty significant step up in terms of the power required and the frequency at which I'm going to have to put that power out. So that should be interesting as we complete my warm down. Time to take a shower and very much put my legs up and do absolutely nothing strenuous until 7:10 on Saturday night. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for all your comments and advice regarding the Drivo and ERG mode in particular. Time to shut up, and thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Ciao.